This thing on? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to cold and gloomy New York City. This is going to be a very different type of video. I'm going to try this out, you know, part of this experiment of making videos every day, which I don't know if you guys have noticed, I'm making videos pretty much like every day now. It's just experimenting with the content, trying new things, and this is going to be a sort of like series-like thing that I'm going to try called Walk and Talk. I'm just going to walk and talk to you guys. Sorry if it's too shaky, this is the first one. Think of this as almost like a sort of podcast. If you want to just listen to it without watching anything, there'll be some visual elements to help you, but it's not too important to the context. As you can see in New York right now, it's very cold, very gloomy, and that's because we're about to get snowed on. So depending on when this is uploaded, it should be a vlog from that because it'll be my first snow officially in New York ever since I moved here. But basically, today I'm going to be talking to you guys about why I want to climb Mount Kilimanjaro in Africa. A lot of you guys have been asking me, what the heck is this? Where did this come from? All of a sudden, like, why do you want to all of a sudden climb one of the tallest mountains on planet Earth? Seems kind of dangerous. You're not fit, like you're not ready for this. A lot of you guys have concerns, which I appreciate, which means I think you guys have some devotion and love for me, which is good. But basically, I'm gonna explain what the reason is, why I want to do this, why it's important to me to climb Mount Kilimanjaro in the next 12 months. That's the goal, at least. So basically, we can rewind a little bit. I grew up in Florida for most of my life. And even when I did live in Israel briefly, I lived on the coast, so very like non-mountainous area, very flat area. And especially in Florida too, everything was very flat. There's no mountains in Florida. So for me, when I first started traveling and I started going to places that had mountains around them and seeing mountains for the first time in my life, and then actually climbing them and hiking them, it blew my mind. And I remember the first kind of mountain or hill that I climbed on was in Africa, in Kruger National Park. There was this overlook that overlooked the entirety of like the savannah where all the animals were, and it was this incredible viewpoint. From that moment on, there was this fascination to me of going onto the top of a peak. Sorry if I start stuttering a little bit, it's really cold. But I had this fascination of standing on a peak and looking down and seeing where you started. Like getting that vantage point of like, wow, I'm standing here and I can look from where I came, like miles and miles away. And it was an experience that was so odd to me and so different because I could never really do that where I grew up. And so this kind of fascination with hiking and climbing mountains and trekking started, and it led me into doing the Israel National Trail, or parts of it, and hiking a lot in Israel. I kind of hiked the whole country, just did a bunch of hikes all over, learned the nature and the country inside out, and I did a bunch of really awesome hikes in the UK. Oh God, my hands are cold. In Russia and some places, in the Philippines, and like it's definitely been like an ongoing love of hiking and climbing. And for me, that fascination hasn't gone away. It's taken a back seat recently because one, I realized that those types of vlogs are not really informative or interesting per se for a lot of people. There's a really, really small community of people that end up watching them. So for me, it doesn't work out like monetarily because I'm thinking a lot about money and content that's going to make money and invite sponsors to this channel. Hold on. Oh God, my hand is hurting. It's too cold. Basically, the gist of what I'm saying is that I didn't see much of a point of continually uploading videos of me hiking and doing stuff like that. And that fed into me kind of stopping doing it all over. Because at the end of the day, if I'm not making it for a video, I'm usually not doing it. I didn't see it worth a lot of my effort to hike and do things because hikes are very strenuous a lot of times and they're a lot of work to do. They're fun and they're great, but I didn't see a point in me doing them if I wasn't going to be able to produce a video out of it, which is not the best mindset to have on things in life. That being said, that was one of my main exercise formats when I was traveling, is I would hike a lot and do a lot of stuff like that, like outdoor activities, and that took a back seat in the last year. And I started focusing more on stuff like food and culture, which made me less active and made me focus more on my work and YouTube and editing and always sitting down on the computer. And that produced a significant weight gain. If you can see, I've gained a significant amount of weight. I haven't had the motivation to get off my butt and like work on it and do what needs to be done to lose that weight. And so for me, Kilimanjaro is a sort of peak that I look at and I think about that's like so unrealistic. I mean, it's not that crazy. A lot of people have done it, but I look at it as this thing that's gonna be like really, really, really hard to do. And I really have to be on top of myself to get it done. I don't know how I'm gonna do one of these a week. It's gonna be intense. Let me know if you guys want me to do one of these a week. Oh God, it's cold. Luckily, I have a traveling cloth hoodie to keep me warm. Kilimanjaro seems like this peak that's going to be really, really, really difficult to do. And one of the ways that I see myself getting on top of myself is like putting myself in a point of peril, or in a point of like, okay, if you don't be on top of yourself for this, if you're not going to really focus on this, you won't be able to complete it. And I think about this insane goal. Like for me, I can break it down even further. Every year of my life, ever since I started traveling, there's been like events that kind of help me progress to the next chapter. So 2014 was me kind of traveling for my first time alone to Africa, doing like an African safari trip. It was a huge goal of mine, and that was like the goal of the year. So once I did that, I was like, okay, I'm completed for that year. And then 2015 was hiking that Israel trail. I didn't complete it, but I did parts of it, and I was really, really proud of myself for actually being able to do it. Like I lived in the wild for like a month and a half. It was insane. It was the hardest thing I've ever done, I think, to this point in my life. And then 2016 was sailing on a cargo ship across the Atlantic Ocean, and I did that. And then that like launched all of this YouTube stuff, and that's like where a lot of you guys found me, and that became a huge goal. And then 2017 started with the goal of flying around the world in a circle, but that spread into 2018. So kind of 2017, 2018 together were kind of this delve of trying to circumnavigate the globe and do it in a circle at the age of 21, and I did that, and I finished that, and I completed that, and I'm so proud of myself for doing it. But after getting back home in June of 2018, I've been a little bit like in a rut of like, what am I doing with my life? What's the next step? And Kilimanjaro is like, it's like it's calling me in the least cheesiest and corniest way. It's a mountain I've wanted to climb for a very, very long time. One, because I'm obsessed with Africa. I'm obsessed with that continent, especially that part of Africa, like Tanzania, Kenya area. I'm so fascinated with going there and like traveling there and learning about the environment, the animals, and the people. God, it's so cold. Hold on. I gotta move locations again or I'm gonna freeze over. So beyond being fascinated with it, I don't remember where my train of thought was, but basically what I'm trying to say is that it's like a sort of goal for the year. I really like to take my life in chapters. And so, I mean, I can already tell you guys the next big thing that I want to do after climbing Kilimanjaro is to swim with a blue whale. Whether that be in a documentary format, if I make something about conservation, I want to be in the water face to face with the largest animal that's ever lived on planet Earth. Call me crazy, it's something that I want to do. I don't know if I'll be able to accomplish it, but every time I set myself a goal, I tend to accomplish these goals one way or the other. I don't let anything stop me. And so Kilimanjaro is this feat that seems crazy, but I see it as a way to help me get back into fitness, help myself get healthier again, and prepare myself for the future. That way I don't stick myself into a position where I continually get bigger and bigger and lose focus of like goals of being fit and being healthy and living my life that way. So I see it as one as a really good, point to look at for that, and second as an insane goal that is going to be difficult to climb, that's going to be challenging, but it's going to set a precedent for the year in front of me and sort of give me a reason to keep going forward. Like I've mentioned a few times already, like I'm a person that's really driven by goals. I need those goals to keep me going forward to the next thing. And so this is all part of that story of me getting there. Moving to New York, it's all involved, all of this. And I'm gonna make a separate video on why I moved to New York in general, which ties into this as well, but I think it was important to answer this question for you guys. I hope it did. Look, at this point in my life, I feel very lost. Like there's not a lot that I know. I know that I love doing this. I know that I love talking to you guys. I know that you guys love listening. And so I'm gonna keep doing that. But there's going to be goals involved every time. And so this is just that next chapter that I need to cross off the list. And I mean, it's at the point of like, if I die trying, I'd rather die trying to do this than not do it. It's a huge goal that I'm set out to do, and I can't back out of it. And I hope that you guys keep me accountable to it if I end up giving up or something. So don't let me. Please be on top of me. Okay, I think it's I gotta keep moving. It's too cold. So before my body completely shuts down because it's so cold and my camera turns off, we're gonna end this video here. I want to let you guys know that if you want to keep updated with what's like going on with all of this, you can follow me on Instagram. I'll be updating things as they go, and that'll be on screen right now or in the beginning of the video. You guys can subscribe to this or like my page on Facebook, and you'll get all the info that you need. I'll be updating this project as it comes along really, really slowly, but the best place to get updates on what's going on in time is Instagram. And I promise you guys, this Kilimanjaro thing, as much as I can make it happen, I will make it happen. You know, I'm going to be doing everything in my possible power to bring this thing to fruition and bring this thing to light. And I'm really, really excited. So, I'll see you guys in the next one. I love you a long time. Goodbye.